Welcome back. I hope you are feeling awesome. As a part of this video, we'll understand not null constraint, which is part of the domain integrity. So what is not null constraint then? Not null constraint in SQL is used to prevent inserting the null values into a specified column. The column can be any. Let us say you have a table employee. Okay. And it has employee ID, employee name, employee address, like that. If you don't want a name field not to have a null value, then you can go ahead and use a not null constraint. But when you say not null, aren't you thinking what is this null value? Some of you may know null is not same as no data. Let me repeat, null is not same as no data. We can consider null as a kind of a unknown data, right? We don't want to have a unknown data as a part of a particular column. In that case, we can go ahead and use not null constraint. How do we add not null constraint? We can add not null constraint while creating the table, or assuming that you have already created a table, we can alter the table and add a not null constraint. Let us take an example now. Assuming that you are creating a table called employee. Within that, you have a column 1 and column 2. Column 1 is ID, column 2 is name. If you observe here, I am defining ID as a not null column. So after creating a table, obviously we'll insert the data, right? Then when you insert the data into employee, ID name, values 1 and Andy, this gets inserted without any complaints. Let us go to the next scenario. When you say insert into employee ID values 2, what do you think will happen? It also gets inserted without any problem because we have defined the ID as a not null, not the name as a not null. That is the reason this will also be fine. But there is a problem with this statement. When you say insert into employee values, if you provide only Sneha, if you don't provide ID, then there is a problem because we have defined ID as a not null. Let us experience this with an hands-on example. Let me get into a database called university. In this database, I will go ahead and create a table with not null constraint. In this example, I am creating a table called employee NN1, that means not null, and I have a couple of attributes: employee ID, name, salary, age, and we are making a employee ID as a primary key. Observe here, I am making the employee ID as a not null and name as a not null. Let us go ahead and create this table. I created a table. Let us describe this table and understand the details of this table. Yes. So if you observe in this employee ID field, we are saying null value is no, name null value is no. Let us try to insert couple of records into. I am inserting a record which consists of 1001, Modi as a name, 50,000 and 24. Let us go ahead and check the record here. So let's start from employee NN1. So it has inserted properly. Let me insert one more record and please guess what happens here. Okay, so I will insert this record. If you see here, in this record, there is a no value here. Can you think of whether it will get inserted or not? Let's go ahead and hit the enter button. Oh, it got inserted. Let us see how the data looks like. So there is no value here. As I already indicated, null doesn't mean no data. Null means a kind of a unknown data. So without the data also, it is allowing us to insert. Now let us go ahead and try to insert this particular record. In this, I specifically mentioned null. Now it complains, says column name cannot be null. Let us take one more example and try to insert the data. Here I am trying to give a null value to the employee ID column. Yes, it complains again. Wonderful. We understood what is not null constraint, and we have seen hands-on example. Please do practice. Thank you.